What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, I guess. Usually I say welcome back to a Let's Play or something like that, but this video is going to be a video that I've never done before because I generally am not capable of doing it. It's just a general what have I been playing, and while I love video games, I don't actually play a big variety of them. I kind of spend my time into one game and I play it over and over again, and in the end it kind of gets boring and I can't talk too much about one game. But this time around I have 5 games that I played within the last like 2 weeks, and I'm happy to kind of share what games I've played. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so they're going to be very, very quick here. First game is Phoenix Wright DLC, the most recent Dual Destinies game. I don't remember what the case was called, but it was basically it's another case, one of those middling cases that is not really relevant to the characters themselves, but it's still good, and I definitely recommend it. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's all spoilers. It's the same game as all Phoenix Wright games, and I always recommend those games. It's not going to be for everyone. I don't expect it to be for everyone, but I'm going to recommend it to everyone anyways. Next up is Banished. Banished is a game that is like SimCity that is on survival mode. And the reason I say this and how to explain it would be, rather than building a city or a roller coaster park or, you know, a zoo or something like that, and then trying to just build it to be as big as you can, it's about this group of people that are, I guess, banished, quote unquote, and they are now in the middle of this place and they want to build their own town. And that's kind of that's the premise of the game, and that's what it is. So you build houses, you have to make a tailor so that they have clothes, you have to make tools, or you have to have a blacksmith, you have to get food, so you have fishing, you have a hunter's, a hunter's hut or whatever, and so that's basically it. You have medicine and, you know, farms and pastures, and basically the whole thing is that you assigned all your people jobs. You have them grow, you have them try to survive the winter, make sure they don't starve, or, you know, make sure they actually have enough stuff to grow, basically. And Banish is actually made by one person. It is $20 on Steam, and I really do recommend it. The way I play the game, I do have a fault with it, is that I don't like disasters in these type of games because I always feel like I have to rely on these AI that I don't trust. You know, if my if one of the disasters of the village of Banished is a fire, and I put wells within like every close by place, but I don't trust them to get rid of the fires quickly. Even if I had a well within every inch of the area, they may not get there or whatever. And so I don't like putting on disasters. And so if you like playing with the way I do, where you just want to grow the thing as big as you can, this game is a little limited. I haven't gone too far. I've gotten like 30 years in or something like that, but you know, and I'm not the greatest at the game, of course, but there does seem some kind of limited stuff there where you kind of grow to a certain part, and then you just kind of hope that, you know, then you kind of deal with disasters if you play that way. You know, it's not like a SimCity or a Zoo Tycoon where it's like you get the next biggest thing. Like everything is unlocked within the beginning. If you play a Zoo Tycoon or Roller Coaster Tycoon, you unlock things over and over again throughout the times. And yeah, that's Banished, $20. I think the guy who's working on it is going to continue working on it, and it's a very good game. I highly recommend it. Next up is Remember Me. Remember Me is a game that I haven't played too much of. I've gone 4 chapters in or something like that. And it's a game published by Capcom, and so it's not a AAA game, I would call it, but it's definitely not an indie game or anything like that. And basically the story is that the world is, the time that it's at is where memories are now like kind of controlled. You can erase memories, you can you can add memories. I think you can even manipulate memories if you're special enough, I think. And you know, and there's, within this world, there's people that are bad that are using this technology for, you know, for good and bad and stuff like that. And the story is about your main character, Nilin, who had her memory, I think, partly erased or something like that, trying to figure out what she's doing in this world. And she just does tasks that saved her from the place that she's in the beginning. And overall, it's kind of like an Assassin's Creed game. There's some climbing. The combat is kind of like it, but it's a little more freeform in the combat wise. And Remember Me, I feel like the combat is where I like it the most. And you'll see that this is kind of a trend throughout the next 3 games that I talk about, this one and the next 2. And yeah, so Remember Me, overall, the story has been okay. I haven't been, like, oh my god, what happens next? But the combat is kind of what keeps me in there. Like I'll probably do a review on this game later on, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But yeah, it's a pretty good game. If it's on sale for less than $10, I definitely recommend it. Otherwise, I'd look at other reviews. If you look at trailers and stuff like that, gameplay videos, maybe you like it, maybe you can buy it, but I would recommend waiting for it to be $10 or less. Next up is Dust: An Elysian Tale. This is another game like Banished that was created basically by one person. I think this guy got a little bit more help than the other guy did, but in the end, it's an amazing game for these people, one person, wrecking crews that are creating games that are just good. They're not like AAA, of course, because it's one person, but it is amazing how good these games are. Dust, I have a review on ChainedSniper.com, so I won't talk too much about it. It's a 2D platformer that has hack and slash elements and has RPG and adventure elements, basically. Platforming is not a big part. It's mostly hack and slashing, but you go from area to area, go up and down. It's 2D that way, and overall the combat is what's the most fun. Like I said with Remember Me, the combat in Dust is kind of similar in that it's very fluid. You have a few set combos, but it's all about kind of making, you kind of create your own style, and that's what I really like about these games. And while the story is, I would say it's better than Remember Me, to be honest, but it's not something like, again, I'm not like, oh my god, I really want this, like a Phoenix Wright game for me. But the combat alone, I feel like it was unique, it was different, it was fun, and I highly recommend it. And one of the kind of key things I would say is with the boss, the final boss, I actually struggled. I died like 3 or 4 times before finally beating them. But when I did beat them, I actually understood the combat, I understood the mechanics, and I beat them very, very simply. And I think that's a good indication of a good combat system, basically. Last but not least is Terra Rising, or Terra Online, or Terra MMO, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it's a free-to-play MMO. It's a Korean MMO. Most people might know it about the kind of sexist armor where the better armors aren't necessarily bigger armors. It's just different clothes. I mean, I want to defend it and say that it doesn't necessarily get. Maybe it does. I've only played a few. I've played up to level 22 out of 60, but the armor doesn't necessarily get more like scandalous or less. It just changes. Like, it's a weird thing where it's like, instead of making the armor bigger and kind of showing that it's a better armor, it just changes clothes almost, which is weird, but that's a thing. So basically, I just want to talk. It's free to play. It's Eastern culture. Both 2 things I love in games. And the combat, again, is where it really shines. MMOs are notorious for being terrible at combat, where it's like, and a lot of people don't like MMOs because it's about collect 5 things, kill 5 things, and then the way you do it is by clicking at them. Like, it might as well be a point-and-click adventure. But with Terra, while you have those same quests of collecting 5 things, killing 5 things, your combat, the way you're going to kill them, is up to you, and it's very involved, right? Like, I have combos, I have a system that I want to use, I have the skills that I know I'm going to use at this time, at this way, and I have to manage my resources and stuff like that, and it's really fun in that terms. And yeah, I'm probably going to keep playing it. I don't have much else to say about it. I don't read the story because it's an MMO, but yeah, it's a free-to-play MMO. I think it's from Korea, maybe from Japan, but I think it's Korea, I want to say. And it's really good. I like it. And yeah, hope you guys want to check any of these games out. I do like them all, basically. Remember Me is probably my lowest there, but overall, very good games, and I definitely would put them on your wish list or watch list or whatever you want to call it, and check them out when you can. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hopefully can make one of these videos again later on, because I'm trying to play more games so I can talk about them more. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and adios.